So hey guys, a little video, another track guy. This time it's one of the maps of Gamers Assembly. It's probably my best map. It's the map Masters 3 Snoopy, if I'm right, and I'll show you how to drive it a little bit. At least I hope I can help you a little bit. And well, yeah, just start. I'm not used to all these tools here, so I don't know. Maybe it won't be as smooth as I normally would go with any other player. But anyway, let's try it out. Well, the start is kind of easy, kind of basic. Try to get as close as possible to both of these corners. Hit the apexes of these turns. At this part, you actually go a little bit more to the left here, because for the next turn here you want to do a good slide, want to be on the inner line. What I normally do, or what I try to do at Gamers Assembly, was simply drift, do a small drift kinda earlier than you think you would have to do it. When you do that, you get an inner line at the next turn and you'll gain a little bit of time. Maybe it's not that much, but it could be crucial in the end if you have a match. So as you can see, I did that here too. Just go full gas, not letting go. Next part as well, kind of tricky maybe for the not so professional guys. Round about here, I try to start a drift when you have some good speed around the Ramsteins. Maybe hit the Ramstein, but it's kind of, well, yeah, kind of risky as well, because you easily hit the side. You don't really notice that soon that you have a lot of speed. At least that's what I have normally. So I try to go a little bit more left here so I don't crash and I still can have a good drift. This is really a kind of drift you really have to do a few times before you know how to do it. It's kind of a long drift, but you have to keep your speed for the next turn. And also try to go as left as possible at this part. At least that's what I try to do. At this part, I normally do a small drift here already. Just a little small one, just a millisecond, and try to get in the outer line. Wait, yeah, here. Try to get a little bit wider. What I normally do is then I start the second drift, and the second drift I put it as long as possible when I go to the outer line here. Well, I think, well, this with with my best time here I don't really do that, but normally I go a little bit more wider so I can have a good exit on. And then the camera fell, well, not fell, but it shut down. Okay, well, then at this part, when you had the long full speed part, try to not go on the green part, especially when you're a less experienced driver, gamer, racer, I don't know. When I always try to drift at the next green part, so don't go over this one, or at least try not to. Hit the next one. As you can see, I do that, right? Yeah. Here I'll be starting a drift, or a little bit earlier, as you can see. Try to get as close here as possible. And yeah, then this part is maybe one of the hardest parts for a regular driver, I think, because you have to do many slides. At least that's what I do at the next turn. So you have to be as close as possible at this part, but when you go around the corner you also have to stay close to the wall or side, and you will have to do lots of drifts. Wait, I'll show you here, close as possible. Now maybe you cannot see it, but I'm like keep on bashing that brake button I do it like 5, 6, 7 times maybe to keep my speed, or to keep my speed a little bit, and also try to get a good exit on the next part. You'll have to be I don't know if you, this part, it's like a sort of transition. You really have to be in a longer drift to get good out of this part, because when you don't, or when you are not in a longer drift, you will get a no slide most of the time, and you'll fuck up the next turn basically. So I'll show you the next part. Yeah. Okay, and this part is hit the apex here and try to get a lot of speed. It really helps you in the next turn. So I got that. Maybe I go a little bit too wide here. Normally I try to get a little bit more on the inside, but it's okay. You can do a small drift here, relatively small, because the next turn is kinda wide. So yeah. So this maybe it was a little bit too slow. Could have been a little bit harder, but it was okay. So I try to hit these apexes, like the last two corners. Here I go a little bit wide, or actually I go to the wider line. And at some point, when I go a little bit downhill, I just bend my car over to the right. You'll notice you'll get in a sort of slide automatically, which is, you really should aim for that. It really benefits you in the next turn. So get a little slide, and then I slide myself in the next turn. And I try to hit the apex. I know it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to, to aim where you have to brake. But yeah, I think when the time goes by, when you did this turn a couple of times, it will go right, I guess. But I always aim to go a little bit wider than the apex line, because you never know what will happen, and especially with the Ramstein as well, it's just a little bit more safe, especially in matches. So I just do one drift here. Oh, I just almost barely escaped from the hit. Then I go as wide as possible, especially for the next turns, because they're like sort of chicane-y kind of turns. So go out and really try to get as much as to the right as possible. Well, not that much, but just with the speed you have, as much to the right as you can. Oh, okay. At this point, I try to. You have to have some time that you have to turn to the left, because if you don't steer to the left for like, I don't know, 1 second maybe, I think it's less maybe, but your car easily goes in a no slide here, so really be aware of that. I think it's one of the trickier parts, but you have to try to just try to go as to the inner line as possible. Here, yeah. So I barely hit this, and at the next part you'll see on the platform also try to get as close as possible. Just get around the CP. You really have to just try to get as close as possible. It's not about speed. Well, of course you have to get some speed, but it's not really that important here. So yeah, go around that. Try to, yeah, it takes a lot of time, I think, to do this turn correctly, but you'll get there. And goes around again. Okay, and here it's something I always do. Just try to get as close as to the side as possible here. You will notice you can get so close to the wall without even crashing. What I always do, but don't you, when you like you have a little jump here, you really have to slide immediately when you touch the ground again, because otherwise you'll crash in the wall, and then then your race is fucked basically. So I always do a small drift there, just enough to get around the next corner nicely. So, maybe hard to explain. I don't know if I'm doing it correctly now, but so here, up, I just barely hit it. Try to maintain some speed. Up. At this part, I really like to go on the outer line here, to get as much speed as possible. but sometimes you have too much speed and you'll bounce off the track, and well, you'll lose a lot of time, so really be careful with that. But I think after quite some time you'll do it right, like every time almost. So outer line, try to go left immediately, and just a little bit to the left, and then go right again. And now you have to do a very long drift and try to maintain speed. Speed is really important in the next turn. Well, don't touch this, of course, that's logic. So just maintain speed, go as wide as possible in the next turn. Like here, could have been a little bit wider. Just zigzag a little bit so you can try to position yourself for the last important drift, where you can really win or lose a game. Be careful with the Ramsteins, the green ones, because you'll easily get in a no slide. Hacky Jr. does a wall bang here. I heard it's quicker, but really don't do it in the match. Hacky Jr. showed us it's not really beneficial, I guess. So yeah, just try to position it right. Try to not go over the green parts, but I know it's kind of unavoidable, but still just watch out. And then just long slide. Just one long slide, and at the end I normally do another small slide. So I try to position my car a little bit more to the left. Yeah, how do you say it in English? I don't know. Just a little to perfectionize your turn or whatever. I don't know. So, well, here I don't even do it actually, but normally I do, in especially in matches where I'm trying to drive safe. Here I do it in one time, just to hit the apex, get out with a lot of speed. It's kind of hard how much speed you'll have, but it's also a turn which you do. When you do it a lot of times, you'll get better at it. So yeah, just maintain your speed. Try to yeah, not touch this, of course, but just hit the apexes. Be careful here. Just don't hit the pole, and well, you're kind of done. Yeah, maybe at the last part, don't try to get a straight line, which I did not really do here. I think no. Try to get as straight as possible, because you can gain some extra hundreds of seconds, which could be quite important in the end. So I'll show you the full run now. I think it's not the world record, but it was, so it's not a bad time. I think I don't really have the world record. It was on one of the Acer laptops at Gamers Assembly, and I don't have it anymore. So here's the last and final run, like in one smooth thing. So go a little bit wide here, try to get the inner line, full speed. Went over the Ramstein, not necessarily to do that. So here went a little bit to inner line, but still enough speed. Well, yeah. It's kind of weird to see this lap in Cam 2. I never play with Cam 2, so I really enjoy the track. I think it's a good track, and you can really do this track kind of fast and consistent as well. So, well, at least that worked for me. Maybe it's different per player, but I think it's a nice map. Credits to the author, and well, this was a small track guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe it's not really helpful that much, because it's not really a famous track or anything, but I wanted to do a track guide about a map I really know well, so I can explain you, and maybe you guys can practice on these maps with some little extra hints or tips. I don't know. Well, yeah, and I'll probably do some extra track guides in the nearby future. So see you.